First action step is this. In the current economy that we're in, moving towards a healing economy, but it's not going to snap back. It is going to recover, but it's not going to recover quickly. And it's going to be slowed down by every action that Washington takes. If they'll shut up and stay out of it, it'll heal faster. But too many people are standing on the sidelines waiting on that program to work. I got people not working an extra job to save their foreclosure because they think the Obama bailout plan is going to stop their house from being foreclosed on. They're in for a rude awakening, and the smells of the homeless shelter are in their future. That's what's coming. Don't wait on somebody else to fix your deal, because the economy is going to heal, but this one's going to take some time. There's three things that you can do. The first one is this. Take action. Get up, do something quickly. Paint or get off the ladder. My grandmother used to say there's a great place to go when you're broke, to work. There's a reason people get where they are. It's hard work. Hard work pays off. Malcolm Gladwell in his new book called Outliers, which is where he studied people who are inordinately successful and what the correlating characteristics of people who are inordinately successful are. Here's one of them. They have 10,000 hours of hard work at their particular craft to become world class. Peyton Manning watching film and throwing a football. Brad Paisley playing a guitar. I wish I could play a guitar like that. Right. You wish. But will you sit and play hours on end until your fingers bleed? Most people won't pay the price to be him. That's why most people aren't him. It's hard work. It's natural talent. They were discovered. Bull. It's hard work. Radio's no different. Talk radio's no different. Being a quality speaker is no different. You have to apply yourself. You have to get out there, leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home. First thing is activity. Activity. Stand up and take action. The second thing I want you to leave with is do not participate and do not allow your teams to participate in loser talk. You have to turn off the news. It is amazing to me. You got to turn off the news. I mean, it's negative 24/7. My friend Zig Ziglar says he gets up every morning, reads the Bible, and reads the newspaper so he can tell what both sides are doing. You will become who you hang around with. I got a good friend of mine who's a multimillionaire, and he's making some of the dumbest decisions of anybody I've ever seen on the planet because he watches Fox and CNN 24/7. We're going to have to put the boy in a rubber room. He's going to completely implode and have a nervous breakdown. He's completely lost his judgment because that's his only set of information that's coming in. And if it bleeds, it leads, baby. I mean, I'm in the middle of those guys. I know how they think. I know how they produce these shows. I know when we've got something good to say and they'd rather put panic on, they cancel me. Stock market goes down. We want you on Larry King. Stock market went up, Dave. We're going to do something else tonight. That's between 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning up to about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I get a booking and a cancellation, all based on whether we can sell panic or not. Not picking on Larry King, but that's what they put on. Of course, I'm the goober in the corner over here like the Brady Bunch, you know, right? And I'm the one going, we're not going to die. It's okay. And they got three other guys going, we're all going to die. We're all going to die. But that's what's going on. You can't participate in this stuff. It'll change the way you act. It'll change the way you do things. Your income will be within 20% of your 10 closest friends, research has shown. So think about who you're running around with, who you're hanging around with. You don't let your kids run around with juvenile delinquents. Why do you run around with senior delinquents? There's a great little sub shop out by my office out here in Brentwood. It's a franchise called Lenny's. Y'all got a Lenny's in your area? Good little sub shop. There's an interesting thing happened with that sub shop. We used to go in there and lunch occasionally, and one of my son, I've got a teenage son, is one of his favorite places to go. We go in, there's a young man working there. I guess he's a manager, assistant manager, whatever, named Jonathan. And we go in there, and Jonathan would meet you at the door. I mean, he's like, hey, Dave, Daniel, how y'all doing? I mean, just greet you. I mean, it's not like, welcome to Mars. It wasn't training, okay? It was just Jonathan-like people, you know? It wasn't a program. It wasn't a system. And when you walked in, he'd say, hey, Dave, you want your normal Italian? Daniel, I know what you want. You want white bread, you want turkey, oil, black olives, and pickles, right? He knew our order. Well, I kind of thought, well, you know, it's a Dave Ramsey thing. He kind of knows me because he talked about going through one of my classes. And so he remembered me, and Daniel remembered our order. And then Daniel and I were sitting in there one Saturday eating. And, I mean, out of 10 people that came in, if they were a repeat customer, every single one of them, Jonathan knew their order. Oh, this guy's a stud. I mean, he's like he's working at a 5-star restaurant. He knows everything. He's like a maitre d'. He's working at a sub shop. All this economic stuff started going down, and that sub shop was sold to another owner who hired a manager who was apparently a manager and not a leader. And it was tough to work there all of a sudden. Managers are bosses. They count stuff. Leaders persuade and lead with vision. There's a difference. And so apparently a boss got in this sub shop, and Jonathan said, well, I don't need to work here. And he decided to go back to school and quit. 3 weeks later, there's a sign on the door, sub shop closed due to the economy. Sub shop closed due to they lost their Jonathan. That's what really happened. I actually told this story in a national setting a while back. A new guy now owns the sub shop and heard the story, figured out it was his sub shop. I didn't name the Lennies in the national forum. But figured out it was his sub shop, got to asking around, figured out who Jonathan was, hired Jonathan, doubled his pay, put him on an incentive and a percentage of net. Sub shop's booming again in the middle of a down economy. And so, second thing is don't participate in loser talk, and part of that's you got to take care of your people. You got a Jonathan on your team, you protect them with your life, and you keep corporate off of them. You don't let your Jonathans go. You've got to have Jonathan to survive the storm. Don't keep the deadheads. Budget cuts, I understand. I do budgets too. I require performance too. I get all of that. But you protect your dadgum Jonathans. You take care of your people. You screw your people over, they're your greatest resource. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to lose if you do that. Take care of your people. You got some Jonathans in your midst. Some of you are a Jonathan. And here's the deal. Jonathan never has trouble. He'll always be okay. I want security. Jonathan has security. You're only as secure as your ability to land the next gig. And Jonathan can always land another gig. Everybody wants him. Don't lose him to your competitor because some short-sighted idiot watching Q1 performance comes in and tries to mess the deal up. Fight it. Work it. You've got to have him on your team. You can't lose him. And the third one is learn to serve again. Go back to the basics. Serve your customer. Your internal customers are your team. That's what we were just talking about. And your external customers. Oh, we all know that. We all talk about it. But I'm challenging you to reinvigorate it at a level you never have before. Ken Blanchard, the great leadership teacher, says profit is the applause that our customers give us. They give us applause when we take care of them. They say thank you, and they give us checks. One of my favorite books I've read in the last 10 years, and you ought to get this one and read it too, it's called Thou Shalt Prosper. It's by an Orthodox Jewish rabbi who's become a good friend of mine named Rabbi Daniel Lapin. And the thesis of the book is, why is it that Jewish people prosper wherever they go? You just can't hardly find a Jewish slum. Now, why is that? Is it because they have some magic beans somewhere that only Jewish people get the magic beans? No, it's not that true at all. It's inherent to the Jewish religion, the way they worship, that work is a form of worship. That do your work in the marketplace with a level of excellence and serve your fellow man with a smile, and do that with an unbelievable intensity wherever you go, and you will always profit. It comes from the idea that your Heavenly Father, our Heavenly Father, is inordinately pleased when we are obsessively, compulsively preoccupied with the needs of others. When we take care of other people, we tend to win. When you put advertising on that works and they make more than you cost them, they don't leave. Ever. You can't run them off. Blanchard also says business is like tennis. Those who serve well win. What am I saying? I'm saying, I know a whole lot of people that used to just sell to agencies on points. For those of you running sales. They were just order takers. They weren't salespeople. And all of a sudden, well, we sure hope the automotive industry can recover so we can eat again. Well, maybe you need to figure out another industry to go to, or maybe you figure out your local dealer in a way to serve him where you make him more than he costs you, because it's going to be a little while before Toyota returns to the airwaves with something other than I'm sorry. The days of someone swooping in from corporate or national and dropping an ad buy on you and changing your whole P&L are done. You know how radio used to work? And it still does? When you go into the marketplace and you find a business and you put them on radio and it increases their sales. Wow. What a neat idea. What a concept. And you can't run those people off with a stick.